Hi, good morning. Today let's continue. I talked about the stem cells. I think 2 days ago, and actually I can continue the topics and keep talking about it further and in details. Maybe more on gene therapy, but I think I will do it later, but today I would like to share, or this morning I would like to share something very special to all of you. I actually did a Chinese version of it, but now let's talk about it in English. But I think I'll try my best to talk about it in English because I haven't talked about this topic in English in my life. And yeah, but before that, I would like to share with you that my paper on Clary Sage, actually got accepted to be published, and this is a very important paper to me too because uh, I haven't written anything, in um, alternative medicine, especially essential oils. As you know, that I'm a clinical aromatherapist, and in essential oils, I uh, I actually haven't written anything in aromatherapy in a academic or medical research journal yet. But this is my first attempt to do it, and I find it very hard to write an alternative medicine or aromatherapy in academic setting, or to make it more medical research so that you can do something scientific to develop it, or to further elaborate it in a meaningful scientific and academic way. And so it took me two, I think totally 2 months, to design how to write it, what will be the topics about it. Actually, I have written the topics for 5, 6 times, and I couldn't find the right topics for it, so that the presentation will be more scientific. This is the hardest article I have ever written, and for a month I need to think about the theoretical framework. You need a theoretical framework, actually, especially I like to be inventive or innovative in what I'm doing. I'm not doing it just because for the sake of it, I want it to be more innovative or inventive. But I just find the need that this has to be done in this way. So um I actually, thought very hard about it, and finally decided to do it this way. Because it's very easy to write in a folk way that, very similar to what I have published before in aromatherapy journals. But now I have changed it to a, more academic setting, or maybe in a biochemistry or analytical biochemistry way. So I need to do something different, and I cannot, just copy the way that I used to do it in the past, and then, put it here. And I will also get, I think if I do this, if I take this way to do it, my paper will also be published. But the impact, will be, a lot less, you know, the impact will be a lot less important than what I am attempting this time now. So if the paper is published, you may want to take a look. It actually has taken me 2 months to finish this paper. And in the following months, I'm going to try to do something in diabetes. And I will write something about hepatitis B. Hepatitis B, because I actually completed a successful case on, healing someone with hepatitis B. And to undetectable, to what the specialist calls undetectable. Undetectable doesn't mean that you are 100% free of these, diseases, but, maybe through ultrasound or something like that, you cannot, detect, any virus in it. So this is called undetectable, but it's not represented that you are 100% free of these diseases. And let me see, I think the topic is, yeah, I actually give it the name of the topic is called Devising a Treatment Plan Considering the Impact of Thermoregulated Feature of Carrier Sage Essential Oil. The cases of hot flashes with hypertension and menopause. So you can see from this that actually hypertension can be a symptom of hot flashes can be a symptom of hypertension or menopause. And more surprisingly, the formulation actually have a case, to have the menstruation, comes again after, the menopause. But she is at the very beginning stage of having a menopause that is within 1 year. So it will be easier, to have the menstruation to come again. But I believe if you have experienced menopause like for a few years, this is still within the realm that the menstruation can come again, but may not be in fresh blood, but maybe in stagnated blood. So it really depends on, your body situation. What does it mean that when there is stagnated blood? When there is stagnated blood, that means that, you have blood actually accumulated, blood clots or something like that accumulated. Accumulated, and then, if you don't let it come out, actually, that's why many people after menopause will develop cancer. This is one of the reasons that explain why, women have more cancers than, men, after the onset of menopause. This is one of the reasons, actually. So that's why many need to seek OBGYN or something like that for that, cancer or something like that, or removal of that cancer. Actually, this is caused by stagnated blood. So if you can, have the stagnated blood, removed, like in this way, like once a month, and then you will be fine, and, you will be healthier. And also, you are not going to have hot flashes. Having a hot flashes actually is a very intolerable, but, you can be free of hot flashes with this protocol. So, you may want to read this paper when it is published. So I got a very positive feedback from the peer review, and that is an excellent, excellent peer review comments. So, but this is my hard work, and actually I'm not doing it just for out of luck, and then, maybe this is a kind of luck, but not purely luck. But I did pay effort into it, to accomplish something and think hard. So compared with what I have written in the past, this one is, you need to think hard in the design of the whole presentation. And, I added 2 tables. This is very different from what a aromatherapy, paper would be like, but I think if I can quantify all these, and then this may be another DNA programming. So I may try it maybe in the future, especially now. I have some if you read my Facebook post, I have some collaborations, with the laboratories actually in some of the Ivy League. So this will be easier because the simulation work will be much easier and the laboratory work will be much easier compared with what I need to build up myself and do it myself and carry out all the studies, uh, for my own effort. This will be a lot harder and then it will cost a lot of money at the same time. So that's why in my stem cells video, I talk about actually Stanford and Harvard can have the collaborative effort, because they will save a lot of money, have more pool of capital, human power, and actually this can benefit all of them. But I don't know their take yet because I haven't talking to them. But it seems they are not going to. They are not so so open to this idea of having a shared platform that people can exchange information, and but you need to disclose your secrets at the same time. But maybe of this that it seems they want to develop all the work by themselves through themselves instead of having a shared platform and share the information and pull the secrets together so that they can decode more of the secrets. But anyway, if you many people ask me actually how to get the collaborative invitations uh, from some renowned universities or maybe some like myself, like with some Ivy League schools. I want to talk about this is like actually 2-3 years ago someone asked me if I want to teach in Harvard. Actually, at that time, I'm still up to now. Uh, they offered me. They had given me an offer already, and then they give me the tenure, and they want me to be there to teach. So so um, this is actually a surprise to me because this just came after my publications of papers and my speaking engagement with some of the conferences. So you need publicity. The first thing is you need to talk and speak in the international academic or medical research conferences with the alternative medicine, work, so that you can present it to in a more scientific and academic and scholastic way to the audience. That may please the Ivy League schools, they may please the Ivy League schools requirements. Another thing is, yeah, you better have some experience, like you have done some peer reviews, and then you are doing the editing job of academic journals or medical research journals, or maybe you are one of the editorial member there. And you yourself and then need to have some social status. I mean the social status in the alternative health, but in a more academic way. And the academic circle actually accepted what you are doing is impactful, having some impact to the society or to the scholastic circle. And another thing is you yourself need to not need to be a celebrity, but you need to have more community work involvement. That is, you arrange scholars like scholars or having some kind of, events or activities that actually can benefit the growth of the whole industry. So, yeah, this is a few ways that you can do it. For myself, I do innovation and invention. So, I'm not doing something that just elaborating what others are doing or just giving the details of something, some product or some essential oils. No, not this kind of thing. I do something that is very innovative and inventive. So like this. So like if you read my Facebook post, actually, Stanford actually is very, will have a lot of collaborative projects, with my company. And I know what stem cells are and what is stem cell therapy. And I did a search on AI app called the MediSearch, to get something that to get some details of it before I talk about stem cells. And I also do some, searches on stem cells, so that because I myself is not a person that 100% will rely on AI technology. So I need to validate what what will be what the truth will be. So I actually have done some some searches to make sure what I am reading and believing is correct from artificial intelligence. And for gene therapy, actually, I heard the word gene therapy the first time from my friend who is a committee member of a Red Research Foundation or something like that. And then because she has a daughter, and then her daughter has rare diseases, and she talked about gene therapy, how expensive this is, and then I think a few months later I was in a conference moderating what the gene cells, what the gene therapy is, so what gene therapy was. So I learned something about the gene therapy there, and noticed that if without the government sponsorship of this kind of therapy, it's very hard for the public to get the benefit or receive the benefit of using gene therapy, because gene therapy actually is very expensive. So stem cells are very expensive too. Like I said, that you need to have gene therapy, for improvement of the genes, and to achieve a better result, for the stem cell therapy. So I don't know what stem cell, what they are doing in stem cell and how advanced their stem cells are, and I only know from another I think from another Stanford faculty member called Jay. Jay is the founding member of a cardiology, or say I'm a cardiologist or something like that, cardiovascular department or something like that. And then we are Facebook friends. So I learned a lot about what's happening in Stanford University, and because maybe I haven't had friends or many friends from Harvard, laboratories, talking about themselves very systematically, like what Stanford is doing. And so I learned a lot about, like Jay himself is a specialist in stem cell research also, and he has a laboratory too, I think, if I remember correctly. And then there was a time he told told us that what's the difference between what will be the difference between him and Dr. Joseph Wu. And he mentioned that actually because I raised a question, he always he should talk more about the research that he has done, so that we can understand him more, instead of just saying congratulations to and then what they have done. And he always talking about, and quoted something of him, of other people instead of himself. And then I asked in social media. Actually, my husband's uncle is also in Columbia University as a professor in cardiology. And so my that uncle, actually, he what I heard from others talking about him is that he's very talented in study and blah 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 blah, blah. And there was a time I asked Jay, how do you compare himself with James' uncle? Because I have talked about him in helping, to resolve some of the, medical issues happening in Austin. That the doctors at that time, actually nobody would like to touch it, but he successfully, accomplished, helping me to accomplish something, that really benefit the whole medical development here, and also with my clients who has epileptic seizures. So, and then he talked about this. He said, at least he can extend the life of stem cells. That Dr. Joseph Wu couldn't achieve this yet. So, I know that he was the one, who extend the life of stem cells. Stem cells. So, and when people saying something, so that's why I know, Stanford actually was the one to achieve the life extension of stem cells. And there are many people actually involving, more open to try the stem cell therapy for a lot of diseases. So this is what I know of, and many are professional people. And then when I talk to them, actually they are not 100% sure whether they should have a stem cell therapy. And then I told them that why not, you can try it. And then, like in Stanford, actually they extend the life of stem cells, so you can enjoy the results, in a better way, longer, before your next dose of like injection or stem cell therapy. So if everything has these benefits, it helps you to grow professionally, and then you can know more about the professional industry. And I actually haven't asked Jay if he is willing to, come here to give workshops to Austinites, or the professional here. But maybe I will ask him one day. But I do mention on Facebook that I will have some collaborative projects or activities or events, or with Dr. Joseph Wu. But I believe actually Stanford is very interested in developing and have a share in the the alternative health market. So for my company, actually, I myself do the health coaching. If you ask me, I believe every patient actually need to have a health coach, because it is very hard for them to complete the whole treatment cycles non-stop. At the very beginning, they will try, and then they see that they have achieved so much, and then they think they can do it themselves, but this is not true. So I always think that I should have a health coach, that can know the conventional medicines with natural health healing. So I think this is a right opportunity because they invited me, and I would like to have their share in my work at the same time. And so Dr. Joseph Wu will be the will doing the health coaching for my patients, and we will have some collaborative study of the case studies, like I said, actually many people they have ALS, but they don't know that they have ALS. And so the ALS is just one of them, because in here actually many people have hypertension issue or some heart issue like blood clots and something like that. But as you know that he is a cardiologist at the same time, so this can help a lot. And the third is and then he will give workshops. The purpose of my doing this is that I think we don't need to go outside to get the real deep of the Ivy League school studies or something like that. Actually, we can have somebody come here and then teach a whole class, and then everyone can learn something from the top scholars. And yeah, so 1, 2, 3. I think because he's an authority in this industry. In the industry, so I think, and then I talked to my patients about him coming and doing the health coaching, and then actually they very welcome these ideas and they want to try. So, and I think they need to have his consultation to be more consistently or more diligently doing what I am telling them to do. And the other thing is, I have more PhD coming to my clinic. So I think his contributions will be very significant and impactful, to what I'm doing. So I think this is a good idea that we collaborate. And I received many asking me these questions. So I need to share with you my take on this. And actually I immigrated to United States 20 years ago, and then I learned to be more open-minded and agree with disagree. Yeah, I learned this from them, agree to disagree. And this is what I'm doing now, because I learned from them and apply in my life. And then finally I'm a scholar, and I need to use this in my dealing with people, in my argument with the other scholars or something like that, agree to disagree. And so I need to share and give my thoughts about this, because many people actually ask me this question. Ask me this question. No, this is not a question whether how to choose a husband or not. Yeah. But I got some question about asking me how to choose a husband and not how to choose a husband. But I think it's too early to comment on these. But but now sometimes you don't need to ask these questions to get the answer, because there are some way to deduce whether this is true or not. If I don't like this person, then I'm not going to let him get involved too much in my work. As people know me that I like to be solo, and then I do all the things by myself. This is to make sure the quality that I want can be achieved. If I bring in another person, there is no 100% congruence, in our thoughts. And we will have arguments, and then, discrepancies, and then how to minimize our differences in viewpoints or thoughts, or, in our stance. Because, as people know me, that I'm independent. So I can do whatever I want to do and achieve the result that I really want to do. But, I don't think he's an independent person. He's not an independent situation. And so, this may create some kind of conflicts in the future that I can foresee. But I still bring in this person, to my work. And then to some extent, I cannot 100% use what I want to do, to do my work in the future if he is in. So I need to make some compromise. I need to polish my way of talking to him, because he is my colleague. To a certain extent, I cannot, do it like the way that I do it in the past, that we may be in a very different stance, so we can start our argument, or, heated debate on anything that we think are needed. So hopefully the things that the final product is still what I want it to be. This is very challenging, but at least I give him to try. So I think I like this person. Maybe I love this person subconsciously more than my conscious mind do, but I don't know. But this is a possibility. And and then after I get into the academic circle, and then I find that I should be in that circle because I love the way that they do things. I love the way they think things. And I love the way that they argue, or, they argue. But there are some unhealthy things here, but that I don't want to talk about it now. But I will talk about it in the future, because somebody asked me if they take drugs. I myself do not take drugs because, my mother is very strict. I talked about it in my previous video. So my mother is very strict that I cannot do anything that is improper improper. So, and some of them may have, maybe homosexuals or bisexuals, man, I don't know. But, I don't want to comment on this too early now. But I just want to say that this is very. But if you are from California, or New York, actually, this is very common. But in Texas, it's a bit traditional and it's still very conventional. So, so these, so In an inland area, people are more traditional. This is by definition. And then in if you live in a coastal area, usually people are very open minded, so they accept things that we may think that is not proper, or we may think that it's not easy to take. um I don't know, but my friend told me actually Austinites are very protective of local businesses, and they usually, because she is from San Antonio. um she said that it's very hard to get business in Austin if you are not living in Austin, or not an Austinite. And especially the economy is experiencing some changes, and people are even more protective, upholding this principle that they should protect the local first. So even somebody bring money in for investing in Austin, this may not be a welcoming idea to some of the population here. And I also heard when I have some, dinner with some people moving from California, they said that they cannot understand why this happened, and it seems we are not so welcome to their coming and moving from California to here. But some will welcome them, like the real estate, something like that. So there is a certain population. So today I share, and I want to let you all know that actually I myself is I'm very open minded, to welcome this person into my company to try some to try the different roles that actually I invited him to try and help my business, grow in a direction that may be better than what I've originally planned or thought of. And I do need his profession in some of the cases here, because I know very well, how well my patients can benefit from his involvement in my company. So I think I answered the question that I like this person, maybe subconsciously I love this person more than what I call my conscious mind knows about it. And I want to talk about that. Actually, we both learned from an astrologer, so we are classmates, and I also know him, a long time ago. And actually, I learned aromatherapy from him. And but actually, the course outline or course design, I think, is pretty good. At least it inspires me to develop into what I'm doing today. But I'm not a diligent student because I am not always handed in my homework. There are some reasons that I choose not to hand in my homework, because this is more to my proprietary of what I'm doing. I don't like people without my consent. And I'm not saying it's him, but somebody, some people, and steal your things, and use it as their own. So I'm not always handed in the homework, because this always happens in my life. And he also added some of the academic journals academic journals or medical research journals, and actually we are colleagues because he is my supervisor or manager or something like that. And so we know each other long before this happened. And this time I wanted to talk about my paper is Carrie sage. The correct usage of Carrie sage is not what the folk medicine is believing. So I think hopefully this will boost more research, so that we will find out the truth about how to use it correctly, effectively, and safely. You need to base on the research already done. So I based on the research already done on hormone therapy, or how hormone therapy can be used to work better with the application of new natural healing. So when the paper is published, I will talk about it again and will let you all know again. And thank you very much for supporting my endeavors. And if you have any question, you can always ask, even for my personal life or anything. Because I should tell my audience all this. Today, let's finish at this point. So we'll talk about other things tomorrow.